Welcome everybody to the 106th episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi? I'm your main host, the Artificial Dragon.
I'm your co-host and bartender, Darth Celine.
And welcome everybody to yet another wonderful episode where we dive into the lore that is the Star Wars universe. And normally I would hand this over to Celine, but it's going to still be a little bit of a work in progress. So just for the time being, we're going to skip over that. She's got her own problems to deal with in the vacuum of space, trying to find a new home and everything.
Yeah.
But regardless, before we get into this episode, we're going to do our obligatory self-promotions. If you guys love our content, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/canmail. Once again, that's patreon.com/canmail. You could contribute to any amount, the lowest being $2 and the highest being $10. The Discord is open to the public, anybody can join. So if you want to talk about general Star Wars lore, share memes, or just have a chillax time with me, my co-host, and everybody else in our little community, you could do that.
Or cause absolute fucking chaos.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah, like we've experienced for the past couple of days. Thank you so much, certain follower of Slanesh. But anyway, we do have a wonderful... So by the time we post this episode, not so much at the time of his recording, Valentine's Day is a couple of days away. On, ironically enough, the day after the 13th, a Friday. Yay, don't kill us, Jason Voorhees. But yeah, we do have a wonderful Patreon art piece to celebrate this month of love with a fan favorite from the Hunt of the Innerad campaign, Nira the Mandalorian. Look at her in her wonderful cocktail dress.
Oh, yes.
She
looks awesome.
Yeah, and I am so looking forward to that Patreon exclusive roleplay session with Sarzio. Yay! But in all seriousness, Nira looks amazing in that green and gold cocktail dress. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Loki's outfit from the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I am on...
Headcanon. Nira is Loki reincarnated in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, it's just a very interesting color scheme. I think green and gold work surprisingly well together.
Do.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, Nira, if you want to get her poster, you could join the highest tier, which is the Consular, $10 a month. You could download her, as well as the other previous Patreon art piece posters, just $10 a month. You are missing a lot if you don't want to contribute. I might add this poster in the merch store. By the way, we do have a merch store at fourthwall.com. Feel free to check it out. Buy a coffee mug, stickers. We also have posters if you want to buy them. I haven't added anything new yet. I might add Nira, but only if the demand is high enough. So keep an eye out for our dear Mandalorian femme fatale.
She's not femme fatale. She's a baddie.
Yeah, she is a baddie. As Sarzio has found out, I wouldn't say the hard way, but the interesting way, let's just say.
Yes.
But yeah, also... shout out to our Hunt for the Innerad campaign. Our next live stream will be happening on Friday the 13th. Yes, this is the day Jason Voorhees comes into the campaign. I'm being totally sarcastic with that, by the way. But expect a lot of murder this coming session. I'm going to do a shout out for all of our highest tier patrons. We have Alan Lee, Alan Martinez, Balin Forn, Y Wolves, Bob the Nerd, Darth Vapor, Dr. Embos, Gobs, Heretical Hatter, Josh Travis, Lee Fott, Milo, Strawberry Possum, Vi Grey Jedi Raven, Trainboy 17, Tristan H, and Ultrasound 7. Thank you guys so much for supporting our podcast for the past 4 years, and I hope you are looking forward to more content and shenanigans like this.
Oh, there's always more to come.
Oh yeah, plenty of chaos to go around in our little community, Hannah. But with that out of the way, Hannah, what lovely person are we going to be talking about today?
Oh boy, how do I introduce this one?
I'll let you be creative, Hannah.
Would you call her sadistic?
I would say in her Legends version, yes, but regardless.
We're not covering Legends this
Yeah,
this
I would say
time.
she is sadistic.
The sadistic former apprentice of Count Dooku and badass bitch herself, Asajj Ventress.
Yay, Asajj Ventress. And as I have so eloquently said earlier, we are covering the canon version of Asajj Ventress.
Oh my god, the channel's gonna burn down because we're covering canon!
Oh no! Oh no! Pigs are flying, Hannah. Cats and dogs come together. The world is ending.
This was my pick.
Yes.
Yes, I hate canon.
Yep.
But Asajj Ventress in canon is an exception.
Yeah.
You shall see why.
Yeah, Asajj Ventress, there's a reason why I kind of separated them a little bit, because canon Ventress and Legends Ventress are two completely different beasts. I mean, they do share similarities in the beginning there, but if you had canon Ventress cross over into Legends, where the Legends version lives, she would look at the canon Ventress and call her soft.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how much of a completely different beast we're talking about
Holy
here.
shit, okay.
But let me give you a nice little quote of how different this Ventress is compared to Legends. This is a conversation between her and Quinlan Vos, by the way. Quinlan Vos, you've told me your existence has been nothing but pain and loss, never feeling secure, never having a home. You deserve so much, and I could get it for us. The life we'll be able to have together once. What kind of life will that be, Quinlan? The kind where we're alive, where we're slaves to our hatred, our rage? That's what the dark side made me. That's what it does. Nothing is ever enough. You get more and more, but you're never happy. It's a trap. Baited with all the things you want most in life. And it's not worth living. I already left that behind.
Okay, first off, aww!
Yeah.
Quinlan is such a mush!
Yeah, he is, as we'll get into a little bit. But from that little conversation from the Dark Disciple, Hannah, what can you get out of Asajj Ventress there?
At that point in her life, she's like, fuck the dark side. This rots you from the inside out.
Yeah, like canon Ventress is, ironically
She's
enough...
an enigma.
She is an enigma. Like, even in one of her quotes, spoilers, she encounters the Bad Batch, and the clones are all like, I don't understand where your true loyalty is. And Ventress is like, my loyalty is to myself.
Exactly. She has been through so fucking much under other people. She's like, fuck this. I have to survive for myself and take care of myself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is one of the reasons why I think Legends Ventress would look at canon Ventress and call her soft. Because Ventress, like, she's gone through putting it mildly, a roller coaster of emotions throughout her life.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But no, like, I think...
Wait until we get into that.
Yeah, I think that's what makes canon Ventress a little bit more, I suppose, interesting and more in-depth compared to Legends Ventress, who's, I want vengeance against the Jedi, so on and so forth. Now, Legends Ventress does have her moments, but I'll say that for her episode. Currently, canon Ventress is legit fascinating, and her story is yet to have an ending, so to speak.
So to speak.
Yeah.
I will say, I would personally classify Ventress as an anti-hero.
Yeah, very much a solidified anti-hero, as we'll get into a little bit. But in the beginning, her connections to Legends Ventress is very, very similar.
Course.
Yeah. Asajj Ventress is a Dathomirian Nightsister who was the apprentice of a stranded Jedi Knight on Radataki.
Nightsisters for the win!
Acolyte and personal assassin of Count Dooku, Nightsister, and then bounty hunter. Like, she's gone through a roller coaster.
And was a Jedi apprentice.
Yeah, briefly a Jedi apprentice. Yeah, Ventress has been through a lot in her life, to put it simply.
She has held many titles.
Yeah, I think at this point in the Clone Wars story, she's like 39 years old, I believe.
That poor woman.
That poor woman indeed. But this is where we get into the little tad bits of the behind-the-scenes stuff, because those are always interesting. Now, of course, a majority of Ventress's behind-the-scenes stuff, like how she got her name and all of that, I will have to save for Legends, because that's where she got her origins from, if that makes any sense.
Fair enough.
Like, she was made for the original Clone Wars TV show, made by the creator of Samurai Jack. That's her origin story for all intents and purposes.
Okay.
But I will give you a couple of interesting tad bits about the behind-the-scenes story. Dave Filoni, so... I could not find any behind-the-scenes stuff of how they kind of made Ventress or thought about making Ventress into a Nightsister. I would love to one day reach out to Dave Filoni and ask him specifically, hey...
Tell me your secrets. What the fuck did you mean here?
It's all like, hey, Dave Filoni, what happened behind the scenes that made you want to connect Ventress to the Nightsisters? Because, to make a long story short, in Legends, Ventress was not a Nightsister. I'm sure this was a huge shock to you all, but she was originally a Ratataki from the planet of Ratatak.
And you can see in SWTOR that Ratatakis look exactly like Ventress.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You can make a Ventress clone. But, of course, SWTOR is Legends.
Yeah, exactly. That's just an interesting thing that makes me ponder, how the fuck did we get to this point?
What the hell was the thought process here?
Yeah, I can imagine that George Lucas and Dave Filoni were discussing introducing the Nightsisters in the Clone Wars, and they were trying to find a good way to introduce them to. And they're like, okay, is there a female villain that we could use to connect the Nightsisters? Ventress. Let's do Ventress. That's the only conclusion I could draw upon.
I mean, if you look at Mother Talzin and the other Nightsisters, they're pale enough to look like Ventress.
That is very true, yeah.
With the design, it makes sense.
Yeah. Once again, I would love to reach out to Dave Filoni and ask him that specific behind-the-scenes detail. As a film nerd, that just fascinates the hell out of me.
As a
like, what
lore
the thought
nerd,
process?
this fascinates me.
Yeah, like, that fascinates me. Like, what led to this point of a Ventress becoming a Nightsister? But at this point, I'm repeating myself a little bit. I do like that there is some in-lore tad bits pointing out this connection, because in the Book of a Sith, I believe, in the Nightsister section with Mother Talzin, they kind of point out, like, hey, Ventress, wasn't she a Ratataki? And Ventress was all like, yeah, that made it easier to go undercover or something like that.
Fair enough.
That is just one of those...
it's a simple way to say, okay, the Nightsisters were really not looked well upon, so calling myself a Ratataki made it easier.
Probably, yeah. It's just more of a hand-wavy thing, but at least they acknowledged it in a wave-handy sort of way.
Yeah, at least it was acknowledged and not just swept under the rug.
Yeah, but here is where we get to the other behind-the-scenes stuff with canon Ventress, because it's legitimately fascinating to me. Not fascinating to you, probably, but I still want to repeat this. So as we all know, there are other series that Dave Filoni has done, like Resistance.
What?
Resistance is basically a animated spin-off series connecting to the sequel trilogy.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into depth about the story and all that. That'll be a whole different episode. But in in this one episode, let's see. It was the episode The Relic Raiders. Basically, they're looking for dark side artifacts on this world, and Dave Filoni talked about bringing back Ventress. By the way, Resistance takes place in 27 years after the Battle of Yavin, where Kylo Ren, Han Solo were old men at that point. Well, Kylo Ren is a kid, but Han Solo would have been old by then. So Ventress would have been still alive in the sequel trilogy back then.
Yeah, but what the fuck would she been doing?
Well, long story short, Dave Filoni was like, hey, we should reintroduce Ventress, where she basically battles Kylo Ren in that episode.
Why?
You know, funny enough, the producer of Resistance thought that Dave Filoni was joking, but he's like, oh my god, you're actually being serious.
I could see that's like, oh my god, you're actually serious? Are you fucking kidding me?
We love you, Dave Filoni, but just like George Lucas, you make some questionable decisions.
I know. George, of course, we gotta worship George because he's the one who created this.
Not to, yeah.
Dave Filoni is the quote-unquote lore master, but even he could get things wrong.
Well, not to mention, even George Lucas looked at Korriban and renamed it to Moraband.
I'm sorry, George. Fuck you. It's Korriban.
But no, like, eventually Dave Filoni was like, okay, we probably shouldn't introduce Ventress because,
it doesn't make sense.
Well, that aside, it's all like, okay, we have these new characters. If we add in a fan favorite character, it kind of distracts from the characters we're trying to build up on, you know?
Yet they reintroduced the OG3. Fucking what?
Yeah. It's kind of like the similar mentality with Andor. I mean, there's always that meme.
That's so stupid.
I mean, like, there's always that common meme of Dave Andor if it was directed by Dave Filoni, and it's basically the man Andor surrounded by Cad Bane, Ahsoka, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, but I think
Dave Filoni likes to bring in characters who we've seen before.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I get. Fans like that. I get it. But Andor is an original story.
Yeah.
Which is also good. I like originality.
Yeah, exactly. But Dave Filoni kind of had the idea of bringing Ventress back, but he never got to implement that until the Bad Batch, where Ventress just basically comes out of nowhere.
She fucking works there, at least because Omega's Force sensitive.
Yeah, Ventress just comes out of nowhere in the Bad Batch, and for the longest time, it was like a year later, but for the longest time, we didn't know how Ventress came back, because as we'll get into a little bit, she died.
Yes.
And we didn't know how she came back, but fortunately we do have an answer, which I'll get into near the end of the episode.
Yes.
But that is where the behind-the-scenes stuff ends. I know it's a little bit short and not too much in depth, but it was fascinating to go through those.
Isn't she voiced by... No, she's not voiced by Greta Leslie.
Thick.
We have to mention her voice actress.
I know. Give me a moment. You'll probably beat me to it.
The unique rasp of Miss.
I think she was also the voice actor for that one Ratataki character in SWTOR, wasn't she?
Oh, yes, she was.
Yeah.
The Lady of Pain.
Let's see. Nika Futterman.
Nika Futterman.
Yeah, she is awesome. Just that deep...
Adore you, queen.
Alright, I gotta shout her out. Now let's get into the actual story of Canon Ventress, shall we, Hannah?
Hell yeah.
Alright, Ventress was born 50 years before the Battle of Yavin. So if she still lived on to New Hope, she would have been 50 by then.
Even then, if she's in the age of, the resistance and everything, it's like she's fucking nearing 70 or 80.
60 or 70 at the very most. She would have been ancient. She would have been ancient, but goddamn. But yeah, of course, she was born on Dathomir to the Nightsisters and her mother. Unfortunately, we don't know the name.
We don't know her mom's name.
Yeah, we don't know.
See her in a flashback.
We only see her in a singular flashback, but we know she had a mother, apparently. We never know the name of her. But I'm going to send a quick picture of baby Ventress because she's adorable.
She's adorable.
She is very adorable. Oh, Lordy Lou, here we go. Yeah, look at that bold little baby.
Oh, that little face.
That little face. But yeah,
her mother looks like a Nightsister.
Yeah,
so
she does.
It's another hand wavy but simple way to say this is where she came from.
Yeah, exactly.
She had to be sold off as a slave, yes, but she was still from here.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Once she was still a toddler, the Nightsisters were underfed by a criminal named Hal Steed, and Ventress was given to him to ensure the safety of the Nightsisters. The sacrificial lamb sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
not to mention the Nightsisters also lent their own sisters out as mercenaries.
Yeah.
It was how they stayed alive.
Very appropriate, given what Ventress becomes later in life, but we're not at that point yet. The now enslaved Ventress would be brought to the war-torn world of Ratatak, where Ventress would come to appreciate the...
Of all the places to bring her, Ratatak.
Yay! The war-torn world, which is even worse than Legends. So she would come to appreciate the surprising kindness of her new owner, who, unknown to her, was trying to turn her into a weapon. Because, baby coming from a Nightsisters, you got to harness that shit.
But they would thrive under the teachings of their own people, but I digress.
Yeah. But yeah, like one day her master would be killed by a pirate raid, and that's she would be around 6 years old specifically.
She was so little.
She was so little, but then she was stumbled upon by this stranded Jedi Knight named Kyneric. He's an important character for both canon and Legends Ventress. But yeah, he's like the sole mentor figure in Ventress's life. Probably the only stable father figure she ever knew.
Debatable.
Debatable, you say. But no, he saw her potency in the Force, and he was like, I'm going to take you in as my apprentice. And he did a relatively good job. Like, both he and Ventress became, like, the legit protectors of the citizens of Ratatak. They were seen as heroes in the midst of the chaos that is happening between the warlords and all of that.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more important in the Legends version of Ventress, but long story short, eventually her master would be killed by pirates. Ventress would succumb to rage, take up her master's lightsaber, and kill the people who killed him in the first place.
Yep.
You know, classic revenge story, so on and so forth. Eventually, Ventress would lead a one-woman crusade against the other warlords of Ratatak, killing them one by one.
Impressive.
The last warlord, however, she was captured by him, and he decided to make her into his personal gladiator through a shock collar.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, she was good for a time until she wasn't, and then her prowess in the Force attracted an off-worlder, a certain Count from Sereno.
So that's how he acquired Ventress.
Yeah, in canon at least. This is kind of the same thing with canon Grievous, which is kind of like, what was it that you termed it as? Crack filler, so to speak?
Crack thick.
Yeah, basically like that with canon Ventress's backstory, so to speak. It's not dive too much into depth, but...
It's like with Kamari Vosa.
Yeah, pretty much. Ironically enough, Dooku did give the lightsabers of his previous apprentice to Ventress, but we don't know the name of that apprentice, unfortunately.
I'm thinking it's Kamari.
Yeah, so to us, it's Kamari Vosa, but in canon,
it's never explained. It's just, I have these two lightsabers here.
Yeah, pretty much. But of course, the Dooku would approach Ventress, and he's like...
Also, I love the design of her sabers.
Oh, yeah.
They're so pretty.
Oh, are you talking about the curve-hilted ones?
Yeah.
Because she has several different lightsaber designs.
Her original Sith sabers.
Yeah, they are pretty cool, especially with that interlocking design to make it into a saber staff, so to speak.
It's pretty.
It's really unfortunate that she doesn't do that more often in TCW, but regardless.
I know, right?
But anyway, so Dooku would approach Ventress, and he's all like, you are powerful in the Force. I could teach you the ways of the dark side, and you will help me overthrow my master, so on and so forth. But even back then, Dooku was planning to absolutely overthrow Palpatine.
Well, of course, we all know that.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, Ventress is like, hearing, oh, you're powerful in the Force, she's like, I've heard that before. Will you fucking shut up?
And of course, so this is like, you know this very well with Dooku Jedi Lost, I believe.
Chimeric is also mentioned in that play too.
Mm-hmm. Ventress would be tasked by Dooku to find his sister Jenza, not to rescue her, unfortunately, to kill her. It was under the guise
of her rescuing her.
And then she's like, I'm sorry, I have to do this.
She did feel remorse for killing her.
That is very true, but she still carried it out regardless.
I know.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, all throughout that book, I was so heartbroken.
Yeah.
Thinking because Dooku loved his sister.
Yeah.
Even from when they met, he still loved his sister. He didn't go back.
Yeah.
But when they finally meet again, he gives the order to kill her. It's like, what the fuck? God damn you!
How the mighty have fallen, Hannah. That's what the dark side does to people.
I know.
But of course, so the little tad bit that I'm about to retell to you is basically the first encounter Ventress ever had with Kenobi and Anakin, at least in canon. This is dived into a novel called Star Wars Brotherhood. It takes place like in the first months of the Clone Wars, just to give you perspective.
I've heard that book.
Yeah. I heard it's a really good book. I really need to get around to listening to it one of these days.
I'd be happy if I could find a physical copy.
Yeah. At around this time, Ventress was a high-ranking commander of a Confederacy of Independent Systems. Like, there have been whispers of her here and there, but nobody knows that she's a acolyte of Dooku. They just see her as an intimidating woman who can command armies of battle
droids.
But no, like, in her first encounter with Obi-Wan and Anakin, it would be on the world of Cato Neimoidia, one of the purse worlds of the Neimoidians and all that. I think it's really interesting because if you remember in Revenge of the Sith, there's that brief conversation between Anakin and Obi-Wan where he's all like, okay, well, this is the 10th time I've had to rescue you, and Obi-Wan's like, 9th time, Anakin. That incident on Cato Neimoidia doesn't count. Now, it's a reference to this book, but it could also be a reference to not Dark Rendezvous, the Labyrinth of Evil, because they were on Cato Neimoidia that one time.
Okay.
Yeah, but either way, you could link that conversation to this book.
Okay.
But anywho, so long story short, there was this bombing on Cato Neimoidia, and the Neimoidian government were like, who the fuck did this? And both the Separatists and the Republic were like, we didn't do this, because Cato Neimoidia is basically neutral in this war, Hannah. I know, like, when we link the Neimoidians...
Cato Neimoidia is neutral, but one of their top officials is one of the CIS's...
Leaders
and main financiers.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So, to make it a long story short, Hannah, the Trade Federation is its own entity. Cato Neimoidia, along with the Neimoidians, are their own separate thing.
Didn't they denounce Newt Gunray?
Yeah, the senator of Cato Neimoidia, Lord Dodd, did, yeah. But yeah, Cato Neimoidia, they declared themselves neutral from the Clone Wars, and they're mostly legit about that, but as we know with the Trade Federation, nothing is that cut and dry.
No.
But basically,
there's always shit going on behind the scenes with them.
But yeah, there's this bombing in the city of Zera, which resulted in the death of 3,000 people. And everybody's like, oh shit, who's responsible for this? And the Republic basically sent Obi-Wan as their emissary to help with the investigation and all that, and basically to prove their innocence in this bombing. And you want to know who Dooku sent to this investigation?
Did he send Ventress?
Yeah, he basically sent Ventress as his own emissary.
Oh my god. Way to just scare the shit out of all the cowardly Neimoidians to get them to do what you want.
But no, it's kind of interesting because before Obi-Wan arrived, Ventress actually arrived first, and she was going buddy-buddy with a bunch of Neimoidians, including this one Neimoidian guardsman who basically had a bias against the Republic. There's a couple of interesting characters in this book. There's this Neimoidian guardswoman named Rug Corman. She's actually pretty hardcore for a Neimoidian. Like, she's a commando. She killed a lot of people for the Trade Federation. Okay, imagine a Neimoidian and look at the Duros. She acts more like a Duros and how duty-bound she is to her people and all that.
That's cool.
Yeah, she is disciplined. Like, if you ever met a military man, she's like that to a T. She's calm, she's disciplined, she's professional, she sounds legitimately fascinating. Mm-hmm. But she was leading the investigation, and, she's trying not to have a bias with either the Republic or the Separatists, that sort of thing.
But she is biased.
Yeah. But her subordinate, who's this other Neimoidian guardsman, was like, the Republic did this. They need to pay for what they did. And Rug's like, no, we don't have any evidence against this. We need to go through this calmly and collectively. And Ventress, she was just there, and she's basically stoking the fires of this Neimoidian guardsman, trying to get him to her side, sort of thing. Like,
Guile.
Yeah, basically, she's pulling the sniveling snake manipulator in this whole affair, sort of thing.
Yep.
And that's another thing I do appreciate about both Legends and canon Ventress, of how much of a grand manipulators they are.
It's like, compare her to Maul.
Yeah.
Maul is a juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
He is more the fighty type and the infiltrator. Ventress is also an infiltrator, but she is more of the talker.
Yeah.
She is Obi-Wan's foil.
Yeah,
with negotiation wise.
Yeah, I keep on trying to stop myself because that's another reason I love Legends Ventress is because she has a silver tongue. It is ridiculous. But going back into canon Ventress. So basically, Ventress was sent there not only as an emissary, but to build up a case against Obi-Wan and against the Republic. Like, oh, there's Republic weaponry that caused his attacks, so on and so forth, and trying to convince the Nemodians to turn against the Republic, that sort of thing. And I briefly read the first interactions between Ventress and Obi-Wan. Like, Obi-Wan came in a shuttle at a spaceport, and he was greeted by an entourage of Nemodian officials, so on and so forth. Then Ventress comes in, hood up and everything, and she's like, Count Dooku has spoken highly of your order. A pleasure to meet your acquaintance, General Kenobi. And Kenobi is all like, who are you? I am Ventress. And they do a nice little handshake, but he's obviously very tense around Ventress.
How funny. Dooku's telling his new apprentice about his grand Padawan. Typical grandpa.
Yeah, pretty much. And Ventress, the entire time Obi-Wan was helping out with the investigation, Ventress was just tailing his ass the entire way around. Like, how do I know that you haven't caused his attack, sort of thing?
Girl's just as obsessed with him as Maul
is. We haven't even gotten to the point where she became obsessive with Obi-Wan yet.
Oh, lordy.
But no, like, she's doing this entire thing. Like, she has a secret bunker, listening to conversations with Obi-Wan, so on and so forth. You know, the classic spy thing.
Yes.
And then eventually, like, she told the guardsman, Nemodian, that she was, getting to her side to guard the outside of his entrance. But as she knows, this guardsman is not going to guard the entrance, is actually looking in. And she was counting on that because she was implicating Kenobi and the Republic for starting this attack. And the guardsman comes in all like, you are under arrest, Kenobi. You're the one who started this attack to begin with, blah, blah, blah. You know, she's the classic puppet master of this sort of thing. I know I'm probably making this too much of a TLDR, but it is kind of important to Asajj Ventress as a character.
It's not more of a TLDR, you keep repeating yourself.
Yeah. And the Nemodian guardswoman from earlier is actually friendly with Kenobi, and she helps him out a little bit, gathering the evidence while he's in prison and all that, and Kenobi has to request Anakin to come over and rescue his ass, basically, because he was off on another mission.
That's funny. He's like, Anakin, I need help. Again?
Again, Master? Here, I thought I was the one who got captured the most. So Anakin comes to Cato Nemodia along with another Padawan learner, and he has a brief little duel with Ventress, and there are kind of hints that Ventress and Anakin have met before, because he keeps on pointing out, like, I recognize that ship she's flying, which is this it's a ship called a Genefex-class Fantail, and I'll send you a brief picture. It's a very elegant-looking ship. It looks very similar to Dooku's Solar Sailor.
It does. That's really pretty.
It is very pretty. I love a lot of Geonosian ships anyway. So they have a little duel. Anakin breaks Obi-Wan out of prison and they get the fuck out of there. But of course they provided evidence to that guardswoman that the Republic wasn't responsible, sort of thing. And after this is when Ventress became a little too obsessed with Kenobi and Skywalker through the rest of the Clone Wars, basically.
Yeah. And we see that in the Clone Wars series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everybody likes to joke that she's basically the Team Rocket of a series.
Yeah, essentially. But the funniest thing about their interactions, Ventress and Kenobi flirt heavily with each other, even though they fucking despise each other.
Motherfucking their encounter on Christophsis, Ventress, and here I thought our encounter would be unpleasant.
It's like, Obi-Wan, there's a reason everybody calls you a whore.
And Ventress afterwards is like, I've missed you, Kenobi. God damn, Ventress. She certainly awoke.
Just fuck already.
Sorry, Kenobi's heart is with Satine. Not that bold, bitch.
It would be hate fucking, you know that.
Exactly. But yeah, as the war continued, Ventress would become a formidable commander and fought against many Jedi. One of them being Jedi Master Foam. Initially, Dooku wanted Ventress to spare him, but Ventress is like, nah, and kills his ass. This will be important for later.
Oh yes, casually defy your orders.
Yeah. Of course, if any of us have seen the TCW series, she participated in the kidnapping of Rhoda the Hutt.
Stinky.
Yeah, a little stinky. She tried, God damn it. She tried convincing King Katunko of Toydaria to join the Separatists, but of course she was up against Yoda of all people.
Yeah, that's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, exactly. And then she fought Anakin and Obi-Wan at Christophsis, which happens before the Clone Wars movie with Rhoda and all that. And then she was tasked by Dooku to rescue motherfucking Nute Gunray, who was captured and put into custody. There's this funny moment where Sidious was talking to Dooku. It was like, we cannot allow Gunray to be held captive, my friend. He knows too much. And Dooku's like, I've already set a plan into action. My best assassin, Ventress, will either rescue Gunray or silence him. And the Sidious like, Ventress? She's failed way too much in the past. And Dooku, to put credit where credit is due, Dooku does have a lot of faith in Ventress.
Yes, he does, until she's no longer useful.
Yeah, unfortunately, but we're not at that
We're
point
not at that
just
point yet. But it's even pointing out here, Palpatine is like, she's failed too much. And Dooku's like, nah, let her cook.
Let her cook. Let her do her thing. She's very skillful. It would be a waste to kill her immediately. But
even then, it's like, let my apprentice live. I still need to kick your ass.
Exactly. And then, however Ventress was able to do it, she was able to infiltrate motherfucking Kamino, which is goddamn impressive.
Yes, very impressive.
Since it is pretty much the planet second only to Coruscant that is protected by the Republic 24/7, because, you gotta get your clones from somewhere.
Yeah.
And with Grievous, they were able to invade Kamino. She almost got the DNA of Jango Fett to, use as a biological weapon for later and all that. Mm-hmm. But of course she was intercepted by Anakin.
Yep.
Who casually was all like, so I'm guessing I'm going to be taken as your prisoner. And Anakin casually saying, no, I'm just going to let my clones execute you.
Oh, God.
And Ventress like, I don't think so.
Jesus, Anakin!
She got the fuck out of Dodge. Anakin playing as Vader early way too many times, I swear.
Showed so many signs of falling to the dark side so early. It's like,
yeah.
Red flag!
Just, we got a red flag over here. And of course, when she was rescuing Nute Gunray, she was fighting Luminara Unduli. As we all know, not an easy feat to defeat Luminara Unduli.
Wasn't she fighting Luminara and Ahsoka at the same time?
Yeah, she was.
And she was still holding her own.
Yeah, despite earlier, this is a funny conversation I remember with Luminara and Ventress. Luminara was basically commenting on her fighting style, and she's like, I recognize Dooku's training in you, but you are not as elegant. You are sloppy. And that's when Ventress went into a rage against her.
And when she's pissed off, she gets a little sloppy.
Yeah, but she still was able to defeat Luminara Unduli, despite that fact. Successfully rescued Nute Gunray, so props for her, even though she would probably despise Nute Gunray at this point. And then a couple of more campaigns, and then this is where we get into the tipping point, where her life would be changed forever. And that is during the Battle of Solace, where she goes up against Anakin and Obi-Wan in a dogfight, and she was within the wreckage of her ship. And okay, so kind of a little bit of a rewind. Sidious sensed this entire fight going on, and he contacts Dooku. Yeah, and he's all like, my apprentice, your assassin. She has become very powerful. Yes, she is quite important to me. Too important. Master, silence! I can sense her power growing stronger. I would hate to think you are training your own apprentice to destroy me.
That's when Dooku realized, fuck.
And Dooku, of course, was trying to save face, and he's like, never. I am loyal to you always. And
Internally, he's just like, fuck.
And Sidious's like, then prove it. Eliminate
God damn
her.
you, Sidious.
And once again, to give credit where credit is due, Dooku didn't comply immediately. He tried, saying she is my most trustworthy servant, but Sidious was having none of it, basically.
Fuck you, Pelby.
And Dooku he was contacted later by Ventress, who's like, I need help, Master. I am surrounded. And Dooku was like, you have failed me for the last time. Die.
Yep.
Doing the classic Saruman meme of, so you have chosen death.
Yep.
Miraculously, Ventress was able to get the fuck out of there in her crippled starfighter, by in the middle of a chaotic battle.
Yep.
And Dooku, of course, didn't sense that Ventress is still alive, so he told Sidious that he's done what he asked, so on and so forth. And Ventress is just...
She's pissed.
She is very pissed. A bunch of pirates recovered her ass, and she demanded them to take her to Dathomir, and they were all like, the planet of witches? Why would we go there? Exactly. And she just kills all of them for force choke.
Fuck you guys, I'm going home.
So she goes back to Dathomir, where she recovers, and then she's all like, Dooku betrayed me. And Tao's like, yes, I was hoping you would return to us.
I adore that arc of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Nightsisters for the win.
Oh, I know there's a certain heretical hatter that has many, many words about a certain character we'll get into a little bit, but yeah, I do love that arc too.
You know my love of the Nightsisters and the Witches of Dathomir, period.
Yeah, anybody who's listening to our podcast, at least new viewers, we absolutely love the Nightsisters in this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So long story short, Ventress, Talzin provides Ventress with some assistance.
Literally revives her using Ichor.
Yeah.
And restores her magic.
Yeah. So Talzin provides her with a couple of edges to try and assassinate Dooku. She gave her an invisibility spell. She gave her two of the best warriors among the Nightsisters, gave her a debilitating magic poison to give her an edge against Dooku.
And Jedi lightsabers.
Yeah, Jedi lightsabers, another important one. And she goes to Sereno, infiltrates the palace of Count Dooku, and managed to ambush his ass while he was in jammies.
Asleep. He was still in his fucking silk pajamas. She got that close.
But of course, Dooku being Dooku, the master motherfucking swordsman that he is, as well as a master of Force Lightning, was able to overcome their asses.
God damn it.
But still, credit where credit is due.
Oh yeah. That's a damn near impossible feat to break into Darth Tyrannus' home and get a nuts hair away
If only she had a precaution against his Force Lightning.
Yes.
But anyway, Ventress realizes that she needs to change strategies and get herself a sleeper agent, so to speak.
And this is where we are introduced fully into the basics of Nightsister culture, which, fucking yes!
Yeah, so TLDR, they went out to a clan of Night Brothers to pick out the best candidate to be the next assassin to Count Dooku. And to make a long story short, through brutal trials, Asajj Ventress was the winner.
Who just happened to be the brother of Maul.
Yay!
And
weird how
son
destiny
of
works. Weird how destiny works, doesn't it, Hannah?
Yes.
Or retconning in this case. Anyway, but yeah, Asajj Ventress would be the winner. He would be granted a special Nightsister magic to make him more buff and all that stuff.
Not only was he imbued with magic, he was imbued with Ichor.
Yep.
The literal lifeblood of Dathomir.
The lifeblood of Dathomir. And then Ventress sent Asajj Ventress on his way to become to slowly get his training made under Dooku's tutelage, so on and so forth.
And to be fair, he was one of Dooku's better apprentices.
Yeah, he was. A little bit too effective because his exploits attracted the attention of a Jedi High Council. And Anakin and Obi-Wan were investigating. They went to Dathomir. Talzin was basically forced to tell him, yes, Savage Opress, I gave him to Dooku, so on and so forth. She doesn't want to be implicated in this matter. And Ventress kind of realized that time was not on her side. Mm-hmm. She wanted to play the long game with Savage Opress, let him learn Dooku's training and all that, build up trust, so on and so forth. But unfortunately, with the intervention of those two meddling Jedi, she had to up her plan to assassinate Dooku. And she and Savage teamed up to kill Dooku. But once again, Dooku, with his meddling Force lightning, just put a damper on things.
I mean, just the idea of a Nightsister and a Night Brother teaming up to try and kill Darth Tyrannus. How fucking cool is that?
That is very cool, but of course, we know the end result of that.
But still.
But of course, Ventress managed to get the fuck out of there, barely with her life intact by Dooku.
She's good at slipping out with her life intact.
That is another thing you gotta give Ventress credit for, is how slippery she is. Like a motherfucking snake she is.
She is a survivor.
Exactly. So a couple months go by, she's just exploring the galaxy because she kind of realizes that her singular mission to take revenge on Dooku was basically out of reach, and she needed to find new purpose in her life. So she went back to Dathomir, where they basically reaccepted her back in as a official member of a clan, so on and so forth.
Yes, and the initiation ritual that we get to see is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's like we get a look into the shamanistic culture of the Nightsisters. I fucking love that.
Yeah, and of course, like, for the first time in a long time, she actually has a family she could call her own.
Yes, she has her home. She has her sisters. She has her mother.
And the Q in stage left, Dooku
fucking Grievous.
Dooku's all like, she's a pain in our side. Grievous, go kill her ass. As you wish, Count Dooku.
Yes, go kill Ventress, and at the same time, delete all the Nightsisters.
You know, I forgot to mention, I do like how we commented on the ship tease between Ventress and Kenobi, but there's a little bit of ship teasing between her and Grievous as well.
I suppose.
Like, there was that one moment where they were conversing on Kamino, and she's like, alright, time to go get Jango Fett's DNA, and then Grievous grabs her wrist, and he's all like, shall I provide you with a droid escort? And then Ventress is like, my dear General, I doubt there's anything you could provide.
Damn.
While she was seductively stroking his chin, I suppose?
Oh, she's a flirt.
So there's that little bit of a strip tease, but even then, that didn't prevent Grievous from going out and killing her. Well, he didn't kill her ass, but boy doodly, did he crash the family reunion.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah, unfortunately, and then after that, once again, Ventress being one of the sole survivors, she is definitely a survivor, but goddamn.
Ain't that the fucking truth? Oh my god.
Yeah, and Ventress legitimately.
This is the third parental figure she has had die.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
What the fuck?
And she believes this is all her fault, and you could imagine how soul-crushing it is for Ventress.
Especially, she feels responsible for the destruction of her sisters, their mother, the clan.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ventress over here.
How fucking, I'm hurting my throat. How fucking heart-wrenching.
Yeah, very heart-wrenching. And then after that, she didn't really have a purpose except wandering the Outer Rim. And then she stumbled upon a good old motherfucking Tatooine, where she went into a bar and a bounty hunter approached her, you know, doing a classic flirtatious thing. And then she just pulled out her lightsaber, put it up to his chest, just activated it. And she's all like, I'm not that much of a talker.
Just fuck off.
Unfortunately, she had to kill the wrong person because that bounty hunter was about to go out on a job for Boba Fett.
Oof.
And Ventress was basically strong-armed to take his place.
I think I remember seeing her face like, I'm being strong-armed into doing this by a fucking child. Okay.
Boss, this is your boss. Yeah, you got a problem with that?
I'm being strong-armed into doing this by a literal fucking child.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she has been beaten on the regular by Ahsoka.
I know, but still. Boba's younger than Ahsoka.
That is very true. That is very true. So on his first job, she and the other bounty hunters would be sent to this planet of Quartz. I would love to do a brief overview of Quartz because with a little lore that we have to begin with, it is legitimately fascinating.
Make it a short.
Maybe in a short, yeah. Like, we have 2 races from there. Okay, so first off, the planet is like... Okay, so it has a high tense atmosphere. You can't go in shipwise, otherwise it would just collapse from decompression.
Okay.
So how you get in there is by drilling into the core where the actual ecosystem is, where you have to go through space elevators and all that.
Okay.
So there are 2 races. There is the Belugans, who are the dominant race, and the second race, which are the Kage, who are the gray-skinned humanoids.
Right, the only example of their race is what we see in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, and I think...
Like the diadem!
Yeah, the Kage are legitimately fascinating. And I know people basically call them, diet... Achani, because they look very similar to Achani.
They do kind of look like Achani.
Yeah, but I think they're legitimately fascinating. Like, they have the Kage warriors, who are basically your classic ninjas and all that, who ride a bunch of giant millipedes, which is fucking cool to me. So Ventress and the rest of the bounty hunters are tasked to get onto this train, where they have to escort this...
Princess.
Well, she didn't know it was a princess, but special cargo to the ruler of Quartz. And, of course, she had to fight off the Kage warriors, and she found out about the princess, and the princess was basically pleading to Ventress, like, I'm going to be a slave to the ruler of Quartz. Please let me go. And Ventress, she's saying that I'm just doing a job. What the fuck do you want me to do? And she was trying to play to Ventress's better nature, and then she was like, you don't understand what I've been through. And Ventress is like, no, I have been through worse.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
But, of course, she kind of comes around to it when she was talking to Boba Fett, and she found out that he's taking a majority of the cut of a bounty. So she's like, okay, fuck this. And she knocks him the fuck out, puts him in the chest where the princess was, gives the chest to the ruler, gets the payment.
That's fucking funny.
And
imagine Boba Fett as a kid got outduped by Ventress.
Yes, he did. And then, of course, she held the princess for ransom. She's like, nah, you can't have a princess until you pay me, which they do. So she's got the double cut, basically.
And she didn't kill her.
Yeah, she didn't. Well, she killed a lot of Kage warriors, but yeah, she didn't have to kill a lot of people. Yeah, she didn't have to kill the princess. And then after that, she was like, you know what? I think I found my new purpose as a bounty hunter.
Like, I kind of got a knack for this.
Yeah, okay. she kind of does. But unfortunately, as with all things Star Wars, Destiny comes calling back to her multiple times.
Destiny really fucking hates Ventress. Oh my god, this is like life event number 4?
Yeah, number 1, she felt a disturbance through the Force, which, as we found out later, is from Maul, basically.
Yeah.
And she came across a bounty hunting posting on... Who is this savage? Who is this savage oppress?
You dumb bitch!
And Ventress
she get head trauma or something?
No. This is a pirate who was looking at the bounty posting. And he was like, so, who is this savage oppress?
Ventress like, oh, shit.
And Ventress is like, okay, not only do I have to get this bounty, but I have to clean up my own mess.
Like, okay, gotta go tie off a loose end. I'm taking that.
Which, ironically enough, was a posting made by the Jedi Order.
Wow.
So they're like, okay, we need to hunt down this motherfucker, because they also knew that Obi-Wan was going after Maul when he got that transmission. Watch the Maul episode if you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so Ventress goes to where Savage Opress was last seen. And she's like, motherfucking Kenobi, of course you had to be here.
Of course, fucking Kenobi.
And they had a brief team up where they fought against Maul and Opress, which is so friggin' cool, where she lends Kenobi one of her lightsabers briefly.
Like, I'm tolerating you.
Yeah. And then they escaped together and went their separate ways, basically. And then a little bit afterwards, she found out that motherfucking Ahsoka Tano also had a bounty on her head.
God damn.
And also, credit where credit's due, Ventress has got a very cool-ass helmet in her lifeline as a bounty hunter, which I will share with you in a little bit.
Isn't this when she starts growing back her hair?
Not quite yet, but I love that friggin' helmet she has.
Yeah, that is pretty badass.
Which is probably a necessity because she's still a wanted criminal and she's on Coruscant of all places.
Yeah, like, I'm wanted. I better not show my face.
Yeah, and then she was like, I never would I have dreamt of seeing the day where you would have a bounty on your head. And then briefly she came around to Ahsoka, convincing her to help her out, clear her name and all that.
Because this was after the Jedi Temple bombing.
Mm-hmm, yep. And she was implicated for being the one who blew up the Jedi Temple, basically. And Ventress, she was all like, and why should I listen to you again? And Ahsoka's all like, if you help me, I could vouch for you in the Jedi Council. You could have all of your crimes just lifted, give you a clean slate sort of thing. And Ventress helps, and then she was like, okay, you found what you're looking for, we're gonna part ways. And Ahsoka's like, never would I have thought we would be working together.
Especially in the earlier episode, she called her a harpy.
Yep, and Ventress like, these are interesting times.
Ain't that the truth?
Even today, these are interesting times. Anyway, and of course, Ventress, even though she did a good deed, as the saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished, and she would be snuck up on by Barriss Offee, who took her lightsabers and her helmet.
Yep.
And implicating Ahsoka Fervor, who was working with a well-known war criminal.
God, Barriss, goddamn you.
And Anakin, he had to go out and find Ventress personally. Like, he was being very aggressive about it.
This poor woman's like, leave me the fuck alone!
Leave me the fuck alone! But fortunately, Ventress is, so Ventress was able to tell Anakin that Ahsoka contacted Barriss Offee, and that was enough to basically clear Ahsoka's name after Anakin talked to Barriss and, took her in as a prisoner and all that.
Talks, fought her ass at the temple.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck Ventress's old lightsabers are at, but they're no longer mentioned again.
I think I like to assume that they are in the rubble of the temple.
Yeah, very likely.
Last we saw them, Barriss had them.
Yeah, she did, and they're never talked about again, unfortunately.
I picture her being like, that bitch stole my lightsabers.
I
gotta go make a new one.
Yeah, but as the war raged on, Ventress once again tried her best to distance herself from the Separatists and the Republic. Like, she went out into the Outer Rim.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, and this is where she actually starts to grow her hair a little bit. I'm not sure if you listened to much of a live stream yesterday, but Josh had some interesting comments to say about Ventress with her hair.
Really?
The good kind, mind you. Like, love you, Josh. Just gotta throw that out there. It's public knowledge right now.
She looks good with hair.
Yeah, I don't know, like, when I was looking at Ventress with hair back in the day, back in 2015, I think this was, I had a lot of mixed feelings, but I think it's kind of grown on me.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little bit of an uncanny valley, but surprisingly, Ventress actually looks good in blonde hair, and I'll send you a couple pictures of what she looks like, because she also regains a new lightsaber, which is the yellow-bladed one.
Her hair is white, not blonde.
Yeah, God damn it. Sorry, it kind of looked blonde, but yeah, thank you for reminding me that she has white hair. It was a little bit of an inconvenience for her, losing her lightsabers and everything, but she saw this as a positive since it distanced herself from Dooku's training.
Exactly.
And of course, she went to the black market and found a new lightsaber, which happened to have a yellow blade, and she preferred that because it basically gave an indication that she was neither Sith nor Jedi.
Exactly.
Yeah. And on top of that, she got herself a new personal vessel, a Lancer-class pursuit craft, which is the very same ship that Nira has.
God damn, that's a nice ship.
You wanna know what she named this Lancer vessel?
The Nightsister?
No, the Banshee.
The Banshee?
The Banshee.
Interesting.
It's so cool looking.
Very nice.
Yeah. And basically the Banshee would be her personal ship, but also her base of operations. Like, she doesn't have to stick to one planet for too long or anything like that. And
the reason I guessed that she named it the Nightsister was because Maul literally named one of his fighters the Night Brother.
which is ironic because that's a Mandalorian Comric class vessel.
I love that, though.
It is pretty
He's
cool.
acknowledging his roots.
That is very true, yeah. And slowly but surely, Ventress's reputation as a bounty hunter grew, to the point where most gave her the nickname of the Bold Banshee. There was this one interesting job where she got jumped on by pirates, which stole an important piece of cargo. She had to briefly team up with his female Pantoran pirate named Lessa Rhyme. It's just a little bit of a buddy cop little adventure, I believe. And this Pantoran, I'll send you a brief picture of her. She looks very beautiful looking. Basically, she was like, hey, Ventress, I really like your style. Also, the fact that you're a Force user would be useful. Would you like to become part of my pirate crew? And Ventress was like, nah, I do respect your command style, and you're a very lovely person, but I'm destined to wander the stars alone.
Like, I am my own person.
Yeah, at this point, Ventress, I can imagine how reluctant Ventress is to associate. Well,
She's probably terrified to even talk to anybody.
Yeah, she's probably terrified to make legit connections with people because, boy, she knows she's going to lose them as well.
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck do I make connections if everyone around me is going to die?
Yeah, exactly. So, for the next couple months of the Clone Wars, she would continue on as this prominent bounty hunter until one day where she would cross paths with a certain Jedi Knight, Quinlan Vos.
Love at first sight.
Well, not quite love at first sight. Which is very appropriate since we are a couple days away from Valentine's Day. So consider this your early Valentine's Day episode. But anyway, so Ventress was out on a bounty hunting gig on ironically enough, the Pantoran homeworld.
Okay.
She was pursuing this bounty, and then Quinlan Vos just came out of fucking nowhere, acting like the reckless young bounty hunter, because he's supposed to be undercover.
Oh, right. He is the Jedi's, like, spy.
Yeah, he's pretty much the go-to spy for the Jedi Order. And at this point in the story, this is all covered in the Dark Disciple novel. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on that book, but overall, I think it's really interesting for what they provide to the table of Ventress as a character.
Oh, yeah.
But long story short, Quinlan Vos would meet up with Ventress, acting like he's the newbie bounty hunter, and Ventress is all like, I don't know about you, you're a little bit reckless, you let that asshole get away from me. But eventually they managed to catch the bounty, and Ventress very reluctantly was like, fine, I will accept you as my partner, but we'll do a little bit of a probation period. You need to go through this strict training regimen, because you are all over the place sort of thing. But they would go on a couple more jobs, some on level 1313 on Coruscant, ironically enough, and then a couple of other jobs with the Pike Syndicate and all of that stuff. I'm glossing over all of this because this is the plot of Dark Disciple.
I eventually want to read that book.
But there was this one incident that kind of disturbed Quinlan Vos, and he basically has a heart-to-heart with Ventress. Like, okay, I am actually a Jedi. I needed to approach you because the Jedi Council has given me a mission to assassinate Count Dooku.
Well, why don't interest lie?
And Ventress was all like, I kind of suspected that you were a Jedi, but goddamn, the Jedi Council must be really, really desperate if they want to kill Dooku right here and now. And then she's like, but I understand the war has gone on long enough. There are so many innocent people being killed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not sure if I...
Fine.
She's all like, I'm not sure if I could help you kill Dooku, but I could provide you the training to give you a little bit of an edge to kill Dooku. I'm going to train you in the ways of my people and have you embrace the dark side, so on and so forth. And she decides to take Quinlan Vos to her home world of Dathomir.
Well, that's not only the dark side, she's teaching him Nightsister techniques.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, Ventress went on a strict training regimen with Quinlan Vos. Like, one of the first things I believe she does with Quinlan Vos is, like, she uses the Force to convince a snake to come out and wrap itself around her arm, and she just squeezed it to death, just killing it without remorse.
Jeez.
And Quinlan Vos, being the classic Jedi, was very remorseful about seeing the snake die. And Ventress like, no, you need to put those feelings aside.
Exactly, you have to harden yourself.
Because Dooku is not going to give you that chance, sort of thing. You can understand where Ventress is coming from, but goddamn, Ventress.
She's been through so much, she's grown calloused. It makes sense.
Like, some of the training that she had Quinlan Vos go through was kill the local wildlife for food, frequently make jogs to keep his agility up, and at one point, forced him to train underwater without a breathing device, and basically increase his endurance and fight off the underwater fauna. Like, she was hardcore. Nope. You either float or you die.
Damn.
Yeah, and then eventually after passing this final test, Quinlan would... Okay, so throughout this entire little training montage, Quinlan Vos actually opens up to Ventress, and this is where they basically fell in love and all that.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, but... when I was reading through the Wikipedia article, it basically said that they made out on the first night of training. And I'm like, okay, we're jumping the gun immediately. Okay.
I guess there was a lot of sexual tension.
Apparently so. And when you're surrounded by nothing but the dark side, apparently things get a little bit frisky.
And I mean, she was alone, so...
That is very true. But still, I'm just going to gloss that over a little bit, but I thought it was funny. But eventually, after he completed his training, Ventress was reaching out to contacts that she still had within Separatist space, and she found out that there's going to be an event that Dooku would be attending at Raxus Secundus, this little gala event where he would be accepting the Humanitarian Award.
Oh my god, that... I was about to say something very real life relevant there. I'm going to refrain.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I would absolutely love to talk about Dark Disciple, because this is the book where Dooku makes his impassionate speech about why the Confederacy was founded in the first place. It's like, you called for freedom. And how were we met with war? I love that quote so much.
Yeah.
But eventually, like, things were going well. Like, Ventress and Quinlan Vos were able to get Dooku to an isolated position, and they engaged in a lightsaber duel, so on and so forth. Things were going well at first, until they weren't. And Ventress was separated from Quinlan Vos, and she had to give a fuck out of Dodge, and Quinlan Vos was captured by Dooku. But Ventress, even though she got the fuck out of there, she's like, God damn, they took my lover. I need to rescue him.
At least she didn't cut her At least she did not cut her losses and run.
Well, I mean, she still had to find help off of Raxus Secundus, but still, she had the right motives, at least.
Yeah.
At first, she considered reaching out to the Jedi Order and let them know what happened, but she's all like, nah, I don't trust the Jedi Order. I'm going to do this on my own. And she went to Tatooine. She personally reached out to Boba fucking Fett himself and asked him for help.
Damn.
The same person that she looked upon with disgust and used to give the bounty. She was like, please help me, Boba Fett. Over,
but please help me now.
Yeah, she went out to Boba Fett and his syndicate of fellow bounty hunters, which included Bosk, Razi, C-21 Highsinger, and Embo. So pretty noteworthy bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And Ventress, of course, being bounty hunters, they weren't going to do this for free. So Ventress offered to pay them 100,000 credits. And Boba Fett's like, I don't know. This is kind of a risky job. You want us to go to Sereno itself to rescue your quote-unquote lover or whoever the fuck this guy is. And Ventress like, fine. I'll give you guys 250,000 credits.
Did that work?
Yeah, it worked. And Boba's like, the job's a job. Let's go.
Fine, job's a job. Let's go.
So they go to Sereno. And of course, Ventress, living at the Palace of Dooku.
She lived there, so she knows it in and out.
Yeah, she basically knew the schedule of the battle droids when they drop out cargo and all that. And her basic plan is to have the bounty hunters basically be the distraction for the droid security while she snuck in and got the Quinlan Voss out of there. And everything was going pretty smoothly. She was able to sneak her way inside, and she found Quinlan Voss. And, you can imagine she was very ecstatic to see her lover again. Imagine her shock as she was force-choked by Quinlan Voss,
who got turned to the dark side.
Who was very, very pissed off at her. And he's like, you left me to Dooku. Not only that, you actually killed my master, Foam.
Oh.
Because during that entire training montage, Quinlan Voss opened up to Ventress and told him, I want my revenge against Dooku because he's the one who killed Master Foam, so on and so forth. And Ventress is just thinking to herself, oh, crap.
Oh, shit.
And Ventress, classic Ventress with her manipulative side, she was like, yes, I unfortunately did have to kill Foam, but it was at the orders of Dooku.
Well, that is true.
Technically true, but then Dooku revealed the truth that he wanted Foam alive, but Ventress killed his ass.
Damn it. Well, typical leper's quarrel.
Yeah, so they had a little bit of a brief duel, and, Ventress was on the other side of this little thing, where she was trying to convince Quinlan Voss to come back from the dark side, so on and so forth. But Quinlan Voss was having none of it, so she's like, okay, fuck this. I'm going to get help from Boba Fett. She came outside. Unfortunately, the bounty hunters were a little bit busy with Dooku himself.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, at this point, droid security was coming back, and Ventress and the bounty hunters were forced to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Oh, great.
And Ventress was just depressed as she saw Quinlan Voss come out to assist Dooku against her. You can imagine, you don't even need to imagine.
No, you don't need to imagine. It's like, oh my god, everything is turned against me. What the fuck?
So after that failure of a mission, she was kind of forced to go back to Coruscant, contact Obi-Wan, and tell him personally what the fuck happened.
She's like, I'm lowering myself to do this. I need your help.
And, it was actually very amicable. They were at a bar, and they shared a drink, and they went their separate ways. But after that, Ventress was legit depressed.
Well, of course, she lost the one thing that she held important.
She suffered severe alcoholism, insomnia as well.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, she had legit nightmares of Quinlan Voss, coming out and killing her ass.
That's sad.
And she tried to distract herself with bounty hunting again, but even then, she was suffering numerous visions of Quinlan Voss falling to the dark side, and she developed a little bit of paranoia, believing that he would come and kill her ass.
That's cool that she is actually having visions.
Yeah. you gotta feel at least a little bit bad for Ventress.
I feel absolutely fucking terrible for her.
Yeah.
She has gone through so much hell.
So eventually, a couple months go by. Just to give you a long story short, Quinlan Vos becomes Dooku's #1, military commander. And the Jedi Order were a little bit concerned with this mysterious figure called Admiral Enigma that is mysteriously able to triumph against their offensive, so on and so forth.
Admiral Enigma.
I know,
Really?
it's such a
That's stupid.
it's such a stupid name, especially for someone like Quinlan Vos. Admiral Enigma. Who is he, the Riddler?
I was about to say, is that the fucking Riddler?
But anyway, okay, so there was this Jedi friend of Quinlan Vos who knew about Ventress, so he decided to go down there. And Ventress, she is still paranoid that Quinlan Vos is going to kill his ass. So she just attacks this Jedi Knight who did not put up any resistance. He's like, I came here to talk. I want to save Quinlan Vos. And eventually Ventress, even though she distrusted the Jedi Order, she knew she had to save the one she loved. She was like, fine, I will talk to the Jedi Order, the Jedi Council and all that. And this does sound like a legitimately interesting scene because she has a personal audience with the Jedi High Council itself.
I want to fucking see that.
Yeah, all of this, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, was supposed to be a Clone Wars arc, but it got cut, so it's regulated to a book.
God damn you.
But no, there's this entire scene where she's talking with the Jedi High Council, and at first they're a little bit tense, oh no, a war criminal, what the fuck is she doing here? Everybody except Yoda and Obi-Wan were like, calm the fuck down, everybody, let's at least hear her out.
I can see Mace in his seat doing the motherfucker.
This
Motherfucker intensifies.
Motherfucker intensifies, exactly. And that's kind of a little bit of an interesting back and forth because, of course, Ventress was the one who encouraged Quinlan Vos to go to the dark side, and the Jedi High Council pushed her on that. But she also did admit that she only did that to ensure that Quinlan Vos would be successful against Dooku, not any through malevolent intent or anything like that.
I didn't do this to turn him Sith. I did it so he could kill Dooku.
Yeah, and then Ventress kind of pushed it back around of the Jedi High Council where she was all like, but you fuckers, you knew that Foam was killed by me and all that stuff, and you kept that away from Quinlan Vos, and also, you allowed him to fall to the dark side. You pushed him into this position, so on and so forth, and you are so desperate to basically order the assassination of Dooku. Whatever happened to the peaceful Jedi Order that kept peace throughout the galaxy?
And she's saying this as a former Jedi trainee.
Yeah, so you could see where both sides are coming from in this little affair. So after a little bit of debate, the Jedi Council were talking amongst themselves, like, what should we do with Ventress? I really don't trust her. She's a former assassin of Dooku. She's also a very prominent military commander. We also know she's a huge manipulator, so on and so forth. All of it... They have doubts for very good reasons, let's just say. If we know anything about Ventress in the past and all that.
Oh, yes. But Obi-Wan and Yoda gave her the benefit of the doubt.
And both Yoda and Obi-Wan kind of observed that Ventress's love for Quinlan Vos was very legitimate. So they're like, okay, we should at least let Ventress help us in rescuing Quinlan Vos. And at the end of the day, they told Ventress, okay, you will help us rescue Quinlan Vos, and after this is over, all of your previous crimes against the Republic will be gone, and you will begin once again with a clean slate.
Cool.
And, okay, we're not quite at the end yet, but bear with me here. It's a lot of interesting moving parts in Ventress's story.
Okay.
So, they basically find the location of Admiral Enigma, and they infiltrated his flagship, but they were surprised to find that Dooku was waiting for them instead.
Motherfucker.
He's like, welcome. So basically, Ventress like, where the fuck is Quinlan Voss? And she went through the ship's manifest while they were having this intense duel with Dooku on the bridge of a ship and everything. And she found out that Quinlan Voss is actually held captive in the brig. And she was thinking to herself and Obi-Wan, maybe Quinlan Voss joined the dark side against his own will. It's very suspicious, but regardless. So they went over to the brig to rescue Quinlan Voss, and it's very clear that
You keep saying Quinlan Voss, just say Quinlan. Jesus fucking Christ.
And it's very clear that Voss has been subjected to many days of torture and all that, but Ventress, she felt the lingering darkness within Quinlan Voss, and she's like, no, you are still one with the dark side. I need to kill you. And Obi-Wan's like, calm down, Ventress.
God damn it.
He's my friend, Ventress. Calm the fuck down. But long story short, they got the fuck out of Dodge. And Ventress, she was still very weary about Quinlan Voss. And she legit turned to Quinlan Voss, who was trying to apologize to her. And she was all like, I'm glad you're alive, but don't ever fucking talk to me again.
Hell of a breakup.
Yeah. And... like, okay, even though you have lingering darkness within you, Quinlan Voss, you're the Jedi Order's problem right now. I don't give a shit. My record is clean. I could restart anew without you. Goodbye. Mm-hmm. And many months go by, and Ventress, shock of all shocks, is not over Quinlan Voss at all.
No, she was just mad.
Yeah, she was very mad, and she was kind of reminiscing. Like, she went back to the...
Keep in mind, she was tormented for months with those visions, not sleeping, and alcohol, and she was an alcoholic.
Yeah. Never would I have thought, when I was reading about Legends Ventress in the Dark Horse comics, would I have found out that she was an alcoholic at one point.
Well... to be fair, her lover got taken away.
Yeah, so. that is very true. Poor Ventress. But anyway, at one point she was reminiscing, and she went back to the Pantoran homeworld, kind of reminiscing her first encounter with Quinlan Voss, and she found Quinlan Voss waiting for her there.
The fuck?
Yeah, and he was like, hey, Ventress, I kind of missed you. You wanna get back into that relationship again? And Ventress, being... obviously very wary of him because of a lingering darkness within him, but she was like, okay, I did miss you, and they hooked up again. And then later Quinlan Voss came to her and he was like, hey, Ventress, I don't mean to worry you again, but okay, so long story short, Quinlan Voss declared his love for Ventress, and he said, I will leave the Jedi Order and we could make our life together. Classic romantic stuff and all that.
What Obi-Wan didn't do.
Yeah, exactly. More fucking Obi-Wan.
Anyway.
Hey. So later, Quinlan told Ventress, hey, by the way, you remember our assassination plot against Dooku? Uh-huh. The Jedi Council wants me to go there again.
God damn it!
And Ventress was shocked. And she literally begged Quinlan to leave the Jedi Order, run away with her, they could make a new life together, so on and so forth. But Voss was very insistent, and Ventress like, fine.
If you're going, I'm coming with you.
Yeah. Unbeknownst to Ventress, by the way, for a little bit of context, Voss... ever since Voss returned to the Jedi Order, there have been a suspicious amount of missions being blundered. Like, somehow the Separatists knew, had some sort of insider information. And the Jedi Council were looking at Voss and were like, is he a plant? Is he still affiliated with Dooku somehow? And they're like, okay, just to test his loyalty, we're going to send him on that assassination plot against Dooku again.
Okay.
And Ventress, being a former commander of the Separatists, she kind of figured out where Dooku was with his flagship and all that, which is over Christophsis. Ironic that she would go right back to the world where she kind of made her first debut against Obi-Wan and Anakin in that one episode. And I'm going to do a long story short.
You've already been doing this!
I'm trying to wrap up a little bit here. Jesus. Okay, it's not that bad. So Quinlan was still affiliated with Dooku, but not in the way that you're thinking of. He kind of found out along the lines that Dooku is serving another master, this mysterious second Sith Lord, and he's trying to cozy up to Dooku, and he's still kind of affiliated with him. Like, okay, I'm going to have to just discuss this more in his episode, but he, to put it simply, a little bit obsessed with finding the identity of Darth Sidious.
Yes, because doesn't he have psychometry?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
He can see the future.
No, not the future. He could actually touch onto objects and see the past and all that.
Oh, that's what that does.
Yeah, Sar has this similar ability, which he's planning to do on those ashes, by the way. But anyway, so Ventress very reluctantly is working with Dooku, making sure that he's staying alive because, she's kind of trying to get Quinlan back to the light sort of thing. And okay, so basically Dooku is in a corner. He's kind of injured from a crash landing. And Ventress and Quinlan are having this argument. Like, we need to kill Dooku right here, right now. And Vaz's like, no, I need to keep him alive so I can find the secret Dark Lord of the Sith and find out his identity. And Ventress is all like, at what cost?
There's no time. We have to kill him now.
And Ventress was basically doing a practical approach, like, at what cost? Are you just willing to throw away your life with a Jedi out of the window for this obsession? Willing to let Dooku, who we have at our mercy, go? What is wrong with you, Quinlan? It's very ironic that Ventress of all people is trying to reason with Quinlan in this affair.
She's trying to reason with the love of her life.
Yeah. And here's this nice little quote from this story. I'm not sure if it's in this exact conversation, but it's basically a nice little TLDR of what's going on. Remember, you always have a chance to be better. You always have a choice to pick the right path, even if that choice comes a little late.
Yeah.
Ventress of all people would know a thing or two about that.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
And Dooku, so Quinlan is kind of distracted with Ventress, and Dooku, being the classic backstabbing Sith that he is, unleashes a full brunt of force lightning in Quinlan's direction. And Ventress, off of pure instinct, just jumped between them and took the full brunt of a lightning for Quinlan's sake.
Yep.
And that's where she basically dies.
Quote unquote.
Of course, Quinlan defeats Dooku. He manages to escape. I know, very unfortunate, but
we all know how Dooku dies.
Yeah, by Anakin's hand. That's always how he's destined to end. But anyway, Quinlan and Obi-Wan respected Ventress a lot, so they took her back to the Nightsister village on Dathomir and gave her a proper burial among her sisters and all that.
Which, fun fact, the Nightsisters don't bury their dead. They cocoon them in the trees.
Yeah.
Because they utilize their corpses.
Yeah. Yay.
Like, even in death, the sisters still live.
Even in death, the sisters still serve. Anyway, this is a scene that's...
like what Marin says. When you face one Nightsister of Dathomir, you face us all.
Uh-huh. Anyway, so this is a scene that's brought to life in the Tales of the Underworld. You gotta get around to watching it because it is awesome. I know. Eventually you'll get around to that. Anyway, so they have this nice little burial, and Ventress... her spirit joins in the spirit realm where the rest of her sisters are waiting. Like, come join us, Ventress. You'll finally be one with us. And Ventress is just looking at Quinlan, who's walking away with Obi-Wan. And she heard that Quinlan declared that he always loves Ventress, so on and so forth. And despite her sisters and Mother Talzin pleading with her to join them in the afterlife, she's like, no. I need to reunite with my love. And they're like, are you sure about that? Yes. And they basically resurrected her ass.
But
the caveat is she comes back a couple years later.
Yep.
So once again, a big oof for Ventress.
Yeah, still a big oof. She doesn't know where Quinlan is.
Yeah. Until. So Okay, so she encounters the Bad Batch. She's once again taking the life of a bounty hunter. She took up a special bounty called M-count bounties, which, if you can to tell by the designation, Metachlorian count bounties, yeah. She encountered Omega, basically briefly taught her the ways of a Force, and then parted ways with the Bad Batch and all that.
Like, I gave her the basics, I'm leaving by.
Yeah, pretty much. A nice little thing with Ventress. And then a couple years go by, and she decides, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this bounty hunting gig. I'm going to have a more peaceful life as a security guard at this spaceport.
Not what I expected.
Yeah, it's a little bit... You can imagine that she's going through all this self-loathing. Like, I chose to be resurrected, and look where the fuck that got me.
That's so sad.
It is very sad, unfortunately.
Like, I chose to do this. I chose to go find Quinlan. I could have been with my sisters in my clan. And I'm stuck as a fucking security guard.
But it's kind of interesting because her boss basically like, with somebody of your skills, I'm deeply shocked that you're not like going out and doing work. Instead, you're a humble security guard. And she's like, it's more peaceful and quiet that way.
That's very surprising.
Yeah. And then until it wasn't. And there was this Jedi survivor that came in trying to run away from the Empire. And Ventress like, here we fucking go again.
Okay.
And once again, watch Tales of the Underworld. She actually fights one of the Empire's Inquisitors.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was an interesting little encounter because you can imagine that this Inquisitor was a former knight of the Clone Wars and all that. And he's fighting her and he's like, you don't fight like a Jedi. I know who you are.
Well, no fucking shit.
You should have stayed dead. It was a very interesting duel. And once again, this Inquisitor, even though he's nothing like the 11th brother that Ahsoka killed, he looks legitimately fearsome and terrifying. I'll have to send you a picture of this guy. He looks legitimately interesting.
Okay, but about the 11th brother, Ahsoka killed him in 2 strikes.
And, Ventress had a much harder time against this Inquisitor.
I know, but still, Ahsoka killed him in 2 strikes.
Yeah, in 2 strikes. Ahsoka came a long way, while Ventress was stagnant.
I know.
Yeah, he's very terrifying to look at.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But eventually, with the help of the Jedi survivor, they were able to kill the Inquisitor, and she found out through the survivor that there is this secret organization called the Hidden Path. Think of it as the Underground Railroad, but for Jedi and all that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and she found out that her lover, Quinlan Vos, founded the Hidden Path. So he's still alive out there somewhere.
Okay, good. He's still alive.
But Ventress basically was like, I'm not sure if I want to find Quinlan Vos again, and I'll probably put him in danger anyway.
God damn it.
And, she departs, leaving the survivor to join the Hidden Path, but the Padawan basically joined her as a little companion.
Yes,
and
she quote-unquote adopted him.
Quote-unquote adopted him, and I do like the little dynamic between the two. But this is where I'm going to end the episode. That is where Ventress's story ends.
In canon.
For now, at least.
We'll see if they do another Tales, because those are so good.
Yeah, I especially love how they dive into the origin story of Cad Bane. That was legitimately interesting.
Yeah. Once I get my Disney Plus subscription back, I need to watch it.
Yeah, it is so good. I know a lot of people do have their gripes about resurrecting Ventress again. I could understand where they're coming from. Star Wars does have a tendency of doing that a lot.
I know, but it makes sense within the Nightsisters because Nightsisters literally defy death.
Yeah, exactly. And
Talzin did it!
Yeah, and I think if you're going to resurrect a character, at least make it a little bit more interesting. Like they did with Darth Maul. Like, he came back, and before the Clone Wars, he was basically a assassin who spoke 3 words of dialogue.
Yes.
Now in the Clone Wars, he is a legitimately interesting character.
Yes, he went from a character who spoke 3 lines in the original movie to a fucking crime boss.
A crime boss a crime boss and a renegade Sith Lord. I'm a little bit interested to see where Ventress's story takes her in this new era of the Dave Filoni series, I suppose.
I will say that's a little disappointing.
A little bit. But aside...
I mean, she has gone through so fucking much. Mm-hmm. All she wants to do is find Quinlan.
Yeah.
Then she realized, oh, I might not be safe. Let's go, kid. It's like, what the fuck?
I know.
You should have just stayed dead.
Okay, with that a little bit of a lackluster cliffhanger, what did you think of Canon Ventress, Hannah?
Amazing. I love
Yeah.
her. Especially because of the origins tying her back to the Nightsisters, of course. But she has gone through so fucking much.
Yeah. Like, we always talk about a lot of these characters that have tragic backstories. Like, we have Grievous with his people,
Yes,
Dooku.
Ventress's backstory was tragic.
Yeah.
But it was from the beginning.
Yeah.
She had no choice.
Yeah, and I
Until
think,
she did.
Yeah, and I think, like, how they handled Ventress in canon was, I suppose, a little bit more realistic, as opposed to motherfucking Bo-Katan, who was now a good guy again, magically.
With no explanation.
Yeah, exactly. At least with Ventress, many characters around here kind of point out, isn't she a fucking war criminal? Why are we working with her? But because she's so useful and was legit wanting to save Quinlan Vos because that's my lover, it kind of works better than Bo-Katan.
Yeah. I can't wait until we do an episode on Deathwatch and Bo-Katan.
When we eventually
I'm
do
going
The
to be
Mandalorian.
slandering that bitch. Bet on it.
Yeah, that is absolutely something you and Heretical Hatter can agree on.
You don't?
Yes, I do agree.
Cool.
But I always gotta be the trolling devil on the shoulder.
Anyway,
Well,
that
anyway,
is our episode on Asajj Ventress.
Yeah, Asajj Ventress, the very tragic yet badass bow/haired waifu.
The baddest bald banshee.
The boldest bald banshee.
Baddest bald banshee.
Yeah, I did say that,
No,
Hannah.
you didn't.
The baddest bald banshee.
There you go.
But yeah, that is our episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi? Or in this case, watch us gush over on the big bald banshee.
Or just gush over the Sith waifu.
Yeah,
she'll qualify as a Sith waifu.
Yeah, she is right next. Okay, she's not going to dethrone Lacris anytime soon. But
Or
yeah,
Lana.
Yeah, but she is definitely one of those waifus.
Yes, and she redeemed herself.
Yeah, she really
Through
did.
her own ways. She didn't get redeemed by anyone else.
No, the Jedi were long gone by the time she came back from the dead.
I know, but still, she did it herself.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. A little bit of a longer episode than our previous ones, but...
I like long episodes, though.
Yeah, I always love the long episodes, especially when we talk about characters. Those are always fun. Yeah, I hope I made you guys a fan of Canon Ventress. Let me know what you think of her in the comments down below. I would always like to have a discussion with you guys on who do you prefer, Legends Ventress or Canon Ventress. Now, we need to do a future episode on Legends Ventress. She is a whole other can of worms.
Yes, I know, but we also need to do Canon Thrawn.
Yeah.
Since we've done Legends Thrawn.
Fuck. I'm going to have to hold off until the new season of Ahsoka comes out, so I can figure out what the fuck Thrawn is going to do in the future now that he's back in the main galaxy.
I think they fumbled it. Personally,
Yeah.
I think they fumbled it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but
Legends Thrawn is peak. Fight me.
yeah. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, if you love our content, feel free to subscribe, leave a like in the video, press the hype button, and if you would be so kind, contribute to the Patreon. And once again, we will see you in the next episode. Got any closing statements for me, Hannah?
Embrace your anger.
Embrace your anger. Your rage will be stronger, and these chains will be broken. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.